Retail WoW is not doing well. At least that's what Asmon says. Let's see what his reasoning is. I personally think retail WoW's doing pretty good these days. Dragonflight, you know, say what you want about story. I believe the numbers and everything, the retention rate and all that has been good for the game. Let's see what Asmon has to say.
It looks like the new raid in WoW. We haven't really talked about this a whole lot because I haven't been playing it a whole lot. But by 9 weeks of Amyrdrasil, the number of Mythic Farok kills was under 100.
Oh yeah, he's talking about the Mythic kill rate. The Mythic kill rate is extremely low. It's really low.
Over 300 kills of Sarkareth.
Is that because Tindrill's freaking... He's a wall?
Uh-oh. What game is this? Yeah. I wonder why. I think that Dragonflight of Myrdasil, his current time frame from launch today is week 9 of the patch, and these are the kills. This is the last boss, second to last boss, third to last boss. There's a massive drop-off in kills between these bosses. Well, yeah. I mean, it goes from like fucking like 900 to 200.
Damn it, he keeps moving his fucking camera
really
around.
hard. It's not really that big of a surprise, is it? This time in Aberrus, the 9th week is on Wednesday. So you take a look at this, right? Sarkareth, Echo of Neltharion. And you can see very clearly that, like, there's a much better gradation of, like, people that are going from different bosses. Smolderon and Tendril below, Farak out of the water. It's just a shit boss. I mean... Oh, my camera has it? Yeah. Sorry, I forgot it was up at the top there. There we go. Sorry about that.
We're playing camera
but yeah,
dodge.
You can see right here, a lot of people are killing the last boss. And look at Raszageth as well. Raszageth was pretty fucking hard, too. I think Raszageth was extremely hard. So it makes sense.
Raszageth was. I think Raszageth was the hardest end boss. But what I will say is the bosses leading up to the end boss, I think Smolderon and Tindril are harder than any of the second to last or third to last bosses in any of the raids, and that's kind of created a wall when it comes to people raiding on Mythic.
Obviously Jailer was even harder, but I don't really know exactly like why this kind of stuff is happening. I actually don't think the Jailer fight was that bad, but it looks like WoW is I'm not sure if people are like raiding less. It seems like people are probably...
Raszageth was a long fight.
There's probably even more people raiding. It's just that these bosses are too fucking hard.
Yeah, I actually think he's right. I do think he's right. It is. The bosses are, I think the raid's fun. The raid's been good. But I do think these final bosses, like I said, the wall that people are hitting in the current raid is just a harder wall to get past than the prior two. And that's what's causing the holdup right now with Mythic. And I feel like they've been slower to nerf it too. Like they have not been nerfing them that quickly. They did just release a T-Swift nerf just Tuesday. When the patch came out, but overall I feel like they've been slow to nerf it.
What it comes down to, they're just too fucking hard. The fights aren't fun. Yeah. One-shot wipe mechanics suck. Yep. One-shot wipes on Mythic are fine. I think that they're okay if like the entire group does something wrong, but the problem with like Mythic wipes, and this has always been the issue, it's like, remember on Mythic Star Augur, whenever if one person made one wrong connection,
yeah, Warblade, I agree,
it would instantly wipe the raid. Well, it wouldn't instantly wipe the raid. It would put a debuff on the raid to make everybody take 200.
I don't think the Mythic, like I said, and he's kind of saying it. The raids not being complete doesn't have anything to do with maybe with player. You know, we got clickbaited by the title with player retention or the amount of players playing. It has something to do, I think, with the end of raid difficulty.
100% more damage. So it would basically...
It ramps up very quickly.
So that's really the problem. It's like these constant checkpoints of every single member in the raid needing to perform an action.
I'm okay with one-shots in Mythic raid.
The entire raid wipes. That's, I think, what the problem is. That's indicative of the amount of players raiding in general, or just difficulty of the final boss. It's looking like the difficulty of the final boss, and it's not necessarily because of the raid itself. And you've got some people talking about this. Scope on this post is called by Aberrus being more fun. Raid is fucking insane. It's literally just that Aberrus was very easy, and Tendril and Farak are major roadblocks that should have gotten nerfed if not nerfed by now. If not
he's 100% right. Flex, this guy, he's 100% right. That's what it is. It's that there should have been nerfs at this point because, Smolderon was a pretty big roadblock for us specifically, and then it's Tindril is a major. Like, we get to him every time, and yeah, then it's a matter of, are you going to get past Tindril to get to Farak? And I actually think Tindril is harder than Farak, but you get way less attempts on Farak every week because you spend so much time on Tindril.
I'm going to go ahead and give like kind of a hot take on this. I don't think that Blizzard should have to do nerfs.
Oh.
I think the Blizzard strategy of having to continuously readjust boss mechanics over and over and over is a tremendous waste of time. And they should have just made the bosses that are fair and well designed at the beginning and not have to massively nerf them.
Yeah, I guess that would require more testing though. Like one raid boss that I remember getting nerfed like quickly and rapidly over and over and over was Halandras. You guys remember Halandras with the orbs and everything and blocking that shit with your ass and all the transitions and how that damage was like not healable for a while? Thank you for the bits, Alex. I remember Halandras just getting nerfed into the ground. And yeah, that probably does somewhat go to the fact that Halandras was just not made well to begin with. Like, basically what Asmon's saying is make better bosses and you won't have to nerf them. Make the fights more balanced, you won't have to nerf them. That's kind of hard to do, I think, unless you have more testing. And they maybe don't have the timeline to be able to test these fights out for that long. But the main thing is, in a perfect world, they wouldn't have to nerf, yes. But we're not in a perfect world. T-Swift came out. He's extremely difficult. And Mythic, sure. And it probably should be nerfed more quickly.
Because what Blizzard does is they're effectively making two versions of Mythic rating. They're making the top 50 World Guild version of Mythic rating
better content.
And the casual player version of Mythic rating.
Emotional damage!
I think that's outrageous.
Yeah, they did. They removed...
It's insane.
They removed
they could just go
entire
back
mechanics.
To making the raids like
Fumi, you're right.
Like challenging but fun. I don't feel like there's any fun aspect of it. It's just challenging and hard and punishing. The race is super fun to watch at this difficulty though. Solution? Well, who cares about the race? The race goes on for a week and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Blizzard should design raiding around the raid race? That's insane.
No, I don't think so.
Like, absolutely not. They shouldn't do that. Blizzard forgot the fun whenever they're making the raids? Yeah. Normal and heroic version raids were all we ever needed? Yeah, I think so too. It's the same as Final Fantasy Ultimate's hardest content should not allow deaths. Differences in WoW. Do it for BIS. Final Fantasy does it for cosmetics. Well, also, like, with Final Fantasy raids and with WoW, it's very different because you're comparing 8 players versus 20. Like, you basically have, like, a scaling acceptable level of fuck-ups with the amount of people that you have.
Yeah, here's the thing, too. I do hate the feeling of, oh, well, this boss is easier if we do a small, like, a 10-man raid. I don't like that at all. I wish they'd bring back 40-man raids. But here's the thing. 30... Right now, the cap is at 30, and I love to bring 30 people, especially when I do the raids on Twitch and all you guys queue up. I want to bring as many people as possible. It's more fun, I feel like. It feels better to achieve a goal with more people involved. But some of these fights, the way they're designed, it's like, oh, yeah, bring less people, you'll get past it, and then invite people. I feel like that's silly. Like, if the mechanics should kind of be capped to affect a certain amount of people, and then after that, it's just like health and stuff that scales with the amount of people. Like, for Smolderon is way easier. Way, way, way easier with less people. Which is kind of silly.
Like, if you're playing solo...
Like, the amount of people should not be a mechanic.
It's reasonable that one mistake might cause you to die. But if you're playing with 20 people, if one mistake causes people to die at that same ratio,
but I miss 40-man
you're
raids.
never going to get anything done. So it depends on what happens. Stop trying to make WoW an esport. Yeah, exactly. Isn't this a then just don't do it situation?
Both of you said we could find 40 people to raid.
Then just don't do the raid if it's not fun. Yeah, I mean, sure, right? I mean, people just don't do it. I mean, that's fine, but I just feel like just don't play the game. I don't really think is a great argument, is it? I mean, I don't know
about don't play the game. It's well, there's Mythic Plus now. Mythic Plus can completely replace raiding if you wanted to. But for me, end game World of Warcraft has always been raiding. If you're not going to raid, then you're not really playing the end game. So I don't think that you should just tell people not to raid. But yeah, make the bosses a little bit more balanced, maybe. I think they've done a much better job. I still say Sanctum of Domination. Sepulchre of the First Ones was probably the most difficult raid ever created. And they've done a much better job scaling it down since then. But, you know, there's still a boss or two here that need to be fixed up a little bit.
I mean, I'm not raiding. Like, it's not like I'm raiding every week and complaining about it. I'm not doing it.
What's up, Achilles?
Because it's not fun. And I'm giving my opinion as to why I'm not doing it. Why are they spending resources to make content for the 0.1%? I don't know. Final boss entire expansion is more difficult than final boss of the intermediate raid tier. How unexpected. Yeah. I just think that WoW, like, there's so much of a focus.
I actually don't think the final boss is more. I don't think Farrak is harder than Razageth at all. I don't agree with that comment, but I think it's just the ramping up of difficulty in this raid is more steep.
On making the game as hard as possible, man. Like I think it's just there's just way too much stuff in the game. It's crazy. What was the last raid that you had fun
was
doing?
The easiest of the 3, I agree.
It depends, because like a lot of that is based off of like my stream. And so like I don't really know if I could give a good answer to that, because like whenever I raided for fun back in like Legion and WoD and before then, I wasn't really streaming, so it was like a very different paradigm for me. It's hard for me to say.
It is different.
Eternal Palace? Well, I had fun doing Nilotha with like those corruption raids. Those were really cool. And I liked Vault of the Incarnates. I thought that was a good raid. It was okay. I mean, like, I'm not saying it's perfect, right? But there were good things about it. It was
better than anything from Shadowlands.
Aberrus, I think, was a good raid. I just didn't really do it a lot. I wasn't really playing WoW at that point. But yeah.
I don't know why I got tired of Aberrus pretty quick.
Castle Nathria was fun, sure.
Castle Nathria was a great raid.
Do you think you'll make a hardcore comeback? No. I only really played hardcore WoW because I thought people were going to... I thought I was going to raid with that guild. And
I love
whenever
Castle.
I found out I wasn't really going to raid
I'll
with
take
them,
it back. Castle Nathria was amazing.
Yeah, that was about it. Like, I don't really give a shit about it that much. Like, I get that some people like hardcore, but for me, like, you have to understand that, like, the reason why I play video games is to avoid everything that hardcore WoW is built off of. That is the one thing that I don't want.
The reason why I don't like hardcore is I like to play a game where I can iterate and build on myself continually. That's why I enjoy playing MMOs more than anything. And hardcore to me is just like, it's just a campaign. You play through it, you're done. And you die, it's over. I don't know. There's an end to hardcore. There is an absolute end. Like, it will not go beyond a certain point, and then you're done. And that's it. Now you're in current game. I don't know what to do. I don't like that feeling. I don't like putting my time into it. It was a fun niche. We did it a little bit, but that was about it.
To have stress or pressure or tension or like
I don't think he's admitting he
sucks or anything like that.
Just doesn't want to do it.
Isn't LFR super easy? It feels like retail gives players the options for easy casual content and hardcore hard content.
The end is when you rip off your shirt.
Yeah, I just don't really think that's a good way to make a game. I don't think that the best way to make a game is to just add in the same fights, but just make everything do no damage.
I didn't.
It's bad design. It's also useless. Like, the gear doesn't matter. It's like, it's whatever. Normal raids are easy. Yeah, I think normal raids are easy for people that have played the game 15 years, but I think you should look at it from the perspective of a new person. Yeah, LFR should give weenie gear. Well, I think so too. I don't think LFR should exist. I think you should just have normal and heroic.
No, normal should be the LFR. I kind of agree with that. LFR, it had its place in time when normal was actually like a slightly, required some brain and thought process, but I feel like now normal, you can just blitz your way through that shit. And now I know I say that as somebody who's been playing since 2005, but I do feel like a new player could come in to the game, gear out, and do a normal raid clear. And yes, they're going to die a couple times, but they can quickly learn the mechanics and do it. Which is, I feel like, what the minimum should be for raiding. LFR is like, you're not even raiding. I mean, you could literally... I've done LFR a couple times in this expansion. I hadn't done it for a while. There's no mechanics. You literally just, all it is a tank and spake. There's a big guy in the middle of the room, and you gotta keep hitting him until his health gets to the bottom. There's like no way to die. There's no mechanics. LFR is just silly at this point. It's just for transmog for me. So I agree with him here. Normal should be the basic normal entry to raiding, and then you got heroic, which is challenging, and then mythic, which is for the no-lifers and people who want the most challenging experience possible.
Make normal a little bit easier. Make heroic.
And LFR AFK, yeah.
About probably the same difficulty, maybe a little bit harder.
I've tanked the bosses down in LFR where the entirety of the raid is like gone or not there, and I'm tanking with like 3 DPS helping me, and that's how we killed the boss.
Just start with that. That's it. You seen a monster in a world?
It's not really raiding.
No, I haven't seen that. Hardcore was nice for its temporariness.
Except
Yeah,
Mazat,
I mean,
that was like
you just don't want to be inconvenienced. Yeah, I don't want to be inconvenienced. You're basically right about that. Like, I don't want to play a video game and have my time wasted arbitrarily. Like, for
I agree with
example,
that.
if I'm playing a game and then, like, I lose my character because somebody else
Dark
made a
Heart being
mistake,
the thing Eridicron
like,
gave. So it kind of throws a wrench into our theories.
I'm not
Yeah,
having fun playing the game anymore.
it's not as exciting as what we
Like,
came up
I
with,
don't
honestly.
feel like I made a mistake. Or let's say I did make a mistake. Let's say I did something wrong. Do I want to be punished that much for playing just because I made a mistake in a video game? No, I really just don't. Like, I play video games to relax. I play them for fun. And to the extent that a video game includes, like, extreme punishments for lapses in focus or lapses in decision making, I'm not going to have fun playing that game because
the thing is, like, I agree. I play video games to have fun too, but there is a lot of fun to be had when you come up against a challenge and then you finally overcome it. The issue is, it gets very annoying when you are doing everything right. You've learned, you hit the wall. You've learned how to get past it, just like like playing a Mario game. You figured out how to finally get past this one part, but the issue is somebody else keeps making a mistake. Now, I'm okay. I've said it before. I'm okay with in raid, a mechanic kills you, the individual, because you did the mechanic wrong. That's fine. And enough people do that. Well, now the raid's going to die because we don't have enough people. We've lost all our healers, whatever. What hurts, I feel like, is when 99% of the raid's doing it right and that one guy keeps wiping the raid because he's not doing the mechanic. That's where the frustration comes in. Because I've witnessed Asmongold play games like Dark Souls and shit where he's literally getting punished hardcore for like an hour, dying to the same boss over and over. But you know why he doesn't hate that as much as he hates dying in a WoW and raid? Because all the control is in his hands. He can overcome the challenge, and when he does, it feels amazing. The issue with WoW raiding is even if he does overcome the challenge and do everything right, somebody else could still fuck it up for you. And that's where the raids get really difficult. That's why Sepulchre of the First Ones was so damn hard, because there were so many one-shot raid mechanics. Oh my god, Anduin was like filled with 3 phases of one-shot kill mechanics. And that has a lot to do with it. Clip it and send it, Sam, next time misses a shroom. Yeah. Where one person dies and kills the entire raid seems like exactly what Sam does. Okay, all right, you guys are all being assholes, aren't you? Also means terrible players at 2.7k coming into the raid do green parses, I think, and think they're worth coming. Yeah, I mean, do better DPS, I guess. Man, that sounds like the DK that's been missing. Okay.
I play video games.
When I miss a mushroom, it doesn't wipe us, okay? Jesus.
So I can
miss
make
2
those
mushrooms
lapses
are probably
in my
gonna wipe.
focus. I can just kind of lean back in my chair and play a game and just chill out. And that doesn't mean that I don't want to have like moments of intensity, right? I mean, like in Monster Hunter, right? I mean, you fight a boss, it's hard, and then it's over. And that's it. But like all the time, I just don't find that to be a fun thing to do. That's all there is to it. So you're punished by your guild for not wearing the tabard? Yeah, true. At a base, I'm over the stress bullshit. That's for young people. But Amir just has way more parses and participation in Aberrist. Does it mean the game's kind of doing better for content? Well, I didn't say the game was bad. That's not my point. Well, I did in a way.
The title, the clickbait title did.
I said that
honestly, he hasn't said it's bad.
Never played Tarkov them, and yes, I've hate my life. Well, it's
up,
not really that. Like, for me, so whenever I play a video game,
you've been in a top 100 guild now.
Out of that video game,
yeah, we're all getting old.
In my mind, right? It's like a dopamine simulator where, like, I'm playing the game, I'm feeling good about playing the game, I'm making progress in the game, I'm happy, and I want to keep having that feeling. But then whenever I die in the game, or I lose a substantial amount of progress, that reward structure in my brain is gone.
Yeah.
I'm no longer feeling good about the game. I'm no longer feeling like I'm playing something and I'm working towards something. I'm feeling like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah,
and
progress
why would I want to waste my time? There's no reason. You want to have fun and not be stressed over it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wasting time, that's part of the reason why Mythic Plus annoys me so much, is when somebody leaves and you've put in time already into the run, That pisses me off because that is legitimately a waste of time. Like, it doesn't matter how much progress you made. It doesn't matter how much you learned. Now it's going to reset. You got to get a new group. You got to do it again. And everything you just did means nothing. In raiding, at least you've made some progress in that mentally you've learned, right? You figured out the fight more, maybe. You've learned how to do some shit. You practiced, all that. Your progress will continue from that point. Mythic Plus is a complete reset. It's done. You fuck it up, you're done. You got to do all that shit over again. And usually the guy who's making the mistakes is the one who leaves. He's the one who leaves. That's one of the most annoying things I think I deal with in Warcraft on a daily basis.
Weird to me that you like Dark Souls games while explaining this. Well, no, because it's a like Dark Souls,
That is why the
Hunter,
rewards are better?
Like these are games of temporary periods of intensity. So, like, yeah, I have to be focused whenever I'm fighting Gale.
Yeah, but it's not a low key. I'm doing like plus 20s.
Or something like that. But all the rest of the time, bro, I'm AFK. I'm chilling, bro. Like, I'm riding around on that fucking horse, bro. I just find where the fuck I go over here, right? Yeah, it's whatever.
Zombie play.
No risk. Well, I don't think that there's necessarily no risk. It's just that if the risk... So basically, for me, it's backwards progression. Like, whenever I lose progress that I made in order
Mythic
to
Plus.
like move forward, now I have to retread my own steps again.
He's talking about what frustrates me
now
about Mythic Plus.
like, it's not just a fail state of not succeeding, but it's like losing what you had beyond failing on its own.
Yeah, and like failing in raiding, you hit a wall. And now you have to overcome that wall. Alex, thank you for the 100 bits again, man. I really appreciate that. You're hitting a wall, and eventually you keep hitting that wall, and then you overcome it. Mythic Plus, you hit the wall, and then you go down a slide, and you're all the way back at the beginning. That's the frustration that I get from that. He's talking about raiding. Man, I think Mythic Plus, maybe he doesn't do it. That's the most annoying shit, is restarting on a Mythic Plus run. Oh my God.
Then I no longer feel like I'm spending my time in a good way. That's it. You got to risk it for the grand payoff, but like not really, because the payoff is just nothing. Because
thanks for the hype trade, guys. Tweak, thank you for the 100 bits.
It's a video game and it doesn't matter.
I appreciate that.
So like there is no real payoff to me. It's just that I'm playing this and I'm not having fun. So that's it. Like I mean, there's no. That's it. Is that why you're not a big fan of survival games like Minecraft? Sometimes, yeah. But you loved Elden Ring, and that's literally what Elden Ring is.
That's what I said. I said, like,
he's
played Elden Ring and stuff like that.
Have you played Elden Ring?
But it's continual progression. Alex, thanks for the 100 bits.
And so, like, you don't really get it? But, like, no, it's not like Elden Ring.
And it's all on you in Elden Ring. Like I said, it's not... He would not like Elden Ring if he was playing with 10 other people... And he did everything perfectly, but then that 9th person out of the 10 fucked shit up, and they wiped because of it. He would not like as much.
Yeah,
part of Elden Ring is it's all on you, man.
Not at all. Like the only example that you can use that would make sense for Elden Ring is in Demon Souls.
Daddy, I think because you're a daddy, maybe you understand. But yeah, that's exactly it. He says honestly, sometimes it's not worth people's time. If you get 1 to 2 hours a night to play, and one of those hours is going to be chain wiping, when you could leave after 20 minutes, and you're still on the first boss to get another done in 30 minutes worth the leave. Yeah, I mean, it's worth the leave, I guess, for that guy. But like, say me, I had like yesterday, I had an hour to do a Mythic Plus, right? We got in there, and the healer kept dying. We were making progress literally because it was a rogue and I who kept surviving and carrying, and I was healing myself because I'm a blood DK, this is what I do. And we kept going. But then eventually the healer died again, and he got frustrated and he left. So maybe that healer was a dad who had to go do something else, and he wanted to just finish a run with someone, get carried by somebody else. But what did he do? He killed my hour because he left. It was like we were like 20 minutes into it, and he left. Well, now I only have like 35 minutes left, and I can't queue up and start another run. So guess what? I'm not doing Mythic Plus anymore today. And now I have 35 minutes to just put my dig in my hand and do nothing. I guess I could do something, but I was doing nothing.
Old King Allant,
That's
the
what
last
sucks.
boss, can do an ability that will suck one level away from your character. That is the only time that you can actually make
that's what I said. I was like, just let me get my vault slot.
Any of the Souls games.
But he left.
That's it.
He was the problem.
I think that's it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's it. You lose souls? Well, you lose souls, you do. But I don't view like, and this is the thing, right? Is that whenever I'm talking about like how you lose souls was basically losing experience, you can, but you can never lose more than like one level of souls, and farming souls is very fast. So like if I lose my souls, I can also just go and get them back, right? Number one, I can go
and get better and be better.
And number
it's all
two,
on you.
Farming them again is usually very fast. It takes like maybe 10 minutes at the most to get your souls.
And you're in his example, you're dealing with your own punishment. It's your fault. You lost the souls. You got to get them back, right? It's by your own hand. And then you've gotten better now, so you know I'm going to come back. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to dodge what I'm supposed to dip and duck. I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to get past this. It would suck if he regathered his souls, went back with those same 10 people, and that 9th person again caused him to lose them. Trust me, it would build a level of frustration in him that, oh my God. That's the issue. That's the main issue, is the one-shot mechanics that kill the entire raid because one person messed it up. In Mythic, I guess it's fine. You've decided to do Mythic. You're going to accept that challenge. But in Heroic, it's a killer, man.
Yeah, I think so. So for me, I never, like, because I'll always try to level up, and so I'm never going to have more souls than it would take for me to do a level up. So that doesn't really happen to me. Losing souls like dropping your currency, not losing progress. Yeah, exactly. Your question of WoW raid design, while you just like team fights because the amount of time lost whenever others fucked up. Oh yeah, a little bit. But yeah, and also like a big factor with this kind of stuff is
you don't have to be in the same realm
makes me feel.
to raid together. It's just if you're doing Mythic. Mythic, you have to be in the same unless it's unlocked, which it's not yet. A certain amount of guilds have to finish it.
Whenever I die in Dark Souls, I don't feel like the game has wasted my time. And whenever I die in a game like
which is part of the problem
WoW,
with people not finishing Mythic right now.
The game has wasted my time. And it's a very emotional response. So I can explain it to you, and you can try to like rationalize why I'm wrong. You can do that all you want. But at the end of the day, I feel like my time is wasted, and I don't want to play it anymore.
I get it. Yeah, I do.
It's that simple. Like, it's not going to change the way I feel.
Yeah, no, he's totally right. Look, the title, when I first saw the title, I thought Asmon was going to look at the Mythic ratings, the number of people killing Mythic bosses, and say, well, game is dead. And that's not what he did, honestly. He broke it down pretty well in that the game is not dead. A lot of people are raiding, but when you get to those bosses with those one-shot mechanics or those hard wall bosses, people start giving up. I don't think people have the stomach for it like they used to. And yes, it's Mythic. It's okay, maybe in Mythic. But I also think Blizzard should just fucking drop the requirement for a certain amount of guilds to finish Mythic before they go cross-realm. That should just go cross-realm. I think it's ridiculous that we're still waiting for a certain amount of guilds to finish this thing. But that's because I want to fucking raid it. I want to do it. I'm sick of waiting.